I know everybody's got a busy schedule today, so we're going to try to keep us moving along. You're at the April 15th Senate Committee on Commerce and Insurance, so if that's not where you intended to be, you may want to go somewhere else. All right, so go ahead and get the Sergeant at Arms, recognize them. We've got Keith Cannon. Hey, Keith. Dwight Green's over this way. Mike Harris up this way. Sheree Hedrick. Chris Moore in the back. And Mike Norton on the side over here. We do have 3 pages with us today. We've got Reese Stevens from Raleigh, North Carolina, sponsored by Senator Adcock. Hey, Reese. Kavya, there we go. Kavya Subramanian, there we go. From Charlotte, North Carolina, sponsored by Senator Bradley. Wave at us, there we go. And Kate Taylor from Wake Forest, sponsored by Senator Everett. Kate, glad to have y'all here today. We do have 2 bills on the agenda. Let's see, Benton, are you ready? Or excuse me, Senator Sawrey, are you ready? Okay, we'll go ahead and start with Senate Bill 479, Senator Sawrey. And it's my understanding there's an amendment. Do you want that amendment heard?
Yeah, we can do the amendment first, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, Chair recognizes Senator Britt.
Mr. Chair, members, the amendment should be before you. It is titled S479-ABC-26 version 7. This amendment does several things. One, it updates the definitions of pharmacies in the reporting context as small retail pharmacy, which is 25 or less, large retail pharmacy, which is more than 25. It also merges 2 provisions, Section 3.2B and Section 5.1, which both seek to allow pharmacists to deny filling scripts and redirect to their pharmacies. It also requires state health plan is to evaluate the provisions of the bill and incorporate the provisions of this bill before the next RFP in 2028. It also makes clarifying changes in the rebate section as requested by some of the stakeholders.
Thank you for bringing that, Senator Britt. Any questions on the amendment to the committee? Hearing none, we'll take that motion from Senator Britt. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, Senator Sawrey, the bill is back before you as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the script has comprehensive legislation to address PBMs, PSAOs, and the cost of prescription drugs in the state of North Carolina. It falls in the theme of what we've been discussing in the Senate with respect to health policy this past year. I'm going to go through each section briefly. I'm glad to take any questions about any particular provision. Part 1 in this bill addresses the concept of pharmacy deserts. We have areas in North Carolina where there might not be a retail or rural pharmacy located. This allows for some enhanced reimbursement rates and different incentives to get people actually into these communities. That section has been amended before. I believe that's the amended sections in front of you. There's a 2-mile radius in urban areas. There's a 15-mile radius in some rural communities. And then it also cites counties with a population of less than 20,000 people, which captures about 1/5 of the counties in the state of North Carolina. Part 2 deals with transparency of PSAOs, which are pharmacy service administrative organizations, and creates a fiduciary duty for PSAOs in performing its duties to a pharmacy. Just to highlight this, something that we talk about oftentimes is what a PBM does in the marketplace. Well, PBM is one part of the prescription drug market between several entities, so we wanted to make sure that we had a comprehensive bill that looked at PBMs as well as PSAOs. Part 3 of the bill deals with PBM transparency. Reimbursement also includes the fiduciary duty provision within the legislation as well. Part 4 talks about anti-steering regulations with respect to pharmacy benefit managements. Part 5 allows independent pharmacies to redirect prescriptions. Now, something that I've learned along the way is that if I go to Senator Hayes' pharmacy and I have a prescription for amoxicillin and my insurer is going to reimburse him at a negative 25% rate and he has in stock, he must sell that drug to me. As I said, in healthcare, I find that to be anti-competitive and antithetical to what we see as the free market here in North Carolina. And I get that healthcare is highly regulated, but he should not be forced to sell that drug to me at a loss. So we want to give him the opportunity to not do that and to redirect the patient elsewhere. Part 6 deals with pharmacy audits. This strengthens the protections that are in place when a pharmacy is undergoing an audit with a PBM. Part 7 deals with reimbursement language between PBM affiliates. It prohibits PBMs from reimbursing affiliated pharmacies, meaning a pharmacy that's affiliated with a pharmacy benefit management company more than they reimburse a non-affiliated pharmacy for the same drug or service. This is something we've seen across several states. This is not unique and new to North Carolina. Part 8 deals with rebates at the point of the transaction and provides that the consumers are to receive the benefit of that pharmacy rebate. Part 10 deals with prescription drug transparency provisions, and the final provision in this deals with reporting requirements to the about pharmacy closures within the state of North Carolina to the Board of Pharmacy. I would submit this for your consideration and glad to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Senator Sawry. Unfortunately, Senator Lowe, we cannot give him the oximeter in committee, but we'll hope to be able to get it off of my desk once we go.
I'll try to do so on the floor, Senator Lowe.
Thank you, Senator Sawry. We're going to go to questions from the committee. Senator Choudhury.
Mr. Chair, notwithstanding the oximeter not being able to be provided, Senator Sawry made a motion for approval of the bill.
We'll hold that for now, Senator Choudhury. Senator Alexander.
Just want to thank Senator Sawry and those who have worked on this. This is a very satisfying bill. It's been a long time coming, and I think it will do a great deal to help our small pharmacies and also to provide better and more efficient and effective health care throughout North Carolina. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator Alexander. And for the record, let the record show that Senator Alexander did vote on an ABC bill. The amendment had an ABC in the title, so I'm going to hold you to that. All right, Senator Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Sawry, I also share my appreciation. I know working on a complex piece of legislation like this with many stakeholders is very difficult. I had a town hall last night, and I did actually get a question about this bill from someone who believed that this bill would increase the price of an average prescription for her living in a rural community, depending on an independent pharmacy, that it would increase the price of her average prescription by $10. And I told her I didn't think that was likely so, but I wonder if you can just address what the cost impact of this is likely going to be on particularly rural consumers so that we can get the right information out.
Senator Meyer, I'll accept that as a question. Senator Sawry, would you care to respond?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the $10 number, there's something very different in this bill versus the House bill. So the House bill sets mandatory reimbursement rates using the published data called NADAC. That's something we hear a lot of. And some folks love NADAC. Some people think the NADAC formula is flawed because it requires a certain degree of self-reporting. The question is whether the people are always reporting complete data or whole data across the board. The script fee is tied back to the dispensing fee that you see. I think it's in our Medicaid. The cost to actually dispense a drug to somebody. And the House bill takes that concept and ports it over here. Within the general statutes for non-Medicaid transactions. That is missing from ours. So we do not do NADAC pricing and we do not do a dispensing fee. We do have the affiliate versus the non-affiliate piece. So I would submit to the consumer that if they're going to an affiliated pharmacy and being charged one price, they could now go to a non-affiliated pharmacy and probably see the same price there.
Members of the committee, any further questions at this time? Okay, we do have a couple of speakers signed up. Would ask if I call your name, please come to the mic, state your name, the associate or who you're with, and we will allow for 1 minute of public comments today. First on the list is David Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is David Smith. I am the head of a benefits agency headquartered here in North Carolina and represent primarily employers who are buying health insurance in this state. We have offices throughout the state from Spruce Pine to Durham to Wilmington and all over. And I'm here really more than anything else talking about this bill. I think this bill is considerably better than the House version that seeks to reform both PBMs and pharmacy benefit regulations. But I think there are a few provisions. I spoke to Senator Sawry before this, and I think the fiduciary language changes will be very positive. I think there are other pieces of this legislation I think we should look at to address and make sure we don't run into ERISA preemption problems, particularly for self-funded employers throughout the state, to make sure we have consistent rules for both fully insured and self-funded. And then I would suggest that the pharmacy drug transparency provisions ought to be expanded to including giving that information to employers who are the ones buying for healthcare. Because ultimately my representation, my concern in talking to you is that the people that I work with, employers, are the ones actually paying for healthcare through premiums, co-pays, deductibles, and co-insurance. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have my glasses on, and the writing, I can't really read it that well, but I think it's Connor Rose. If you could just state your name and who you're with.
Good afternoon, Chairman. My name is Connor Rose. I'm a Senior Director of State Affairs at the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association. It's a national trade representing America's pharmacy benefit managers. I want to thank Senator Asari for a great and collaborative process with all stakeholders in developing a very complex and technical piece of legislation. I think to the gentleman before me's point, there are some technical issues with some of the fiduciary language, and I know Senator Asari mentioned that, and look forward to having additional conversations. But again, I think this is all trending in the right direction in a way that mitigates costs, but provides some of the relief and help to independent pharmacies, as Senator Asari noted. So, happy to answer any questions. If not, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. All right. Any other members of the committee have a question or comment? All right. Hearing and seeing none, Senator Chaudhary moves for a favorable on Senate Bill 479 as amended to be rolled into a new PCS, unfavorable to the original bill with a referral to rules. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Senator Saul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, next up we've got Senate Bill